Welcome to another episode of AI Spotlight Show. We're live at Knowledge 2025, a yearly event organized by ServiceNow for its partners, customers, and users. And today, we will be featuring AutomatePro, and we have a representative of AutomatePro who will be telling us what kind of AI solution they have for organizations that are looking to adopt AI to optimize their business process and gain market dominance as well as competitive advantage. Who do we have today?
Hi, my name is Sal Costa. I'm the Director of Solution Consulting here at AutomatePro, and I work on AI type solutions and all of the cool innovative stuff that we work on here.
Great. Nice to have you on our episode of AI Spotlight Show. Yeah, can you tell us briefly about AutomatePro and what kind of AI capabilities they offer in terms of products?
Sure. So yeah, AutomatePro is a DevOps solution for ServiceNow. So we really like to be in the space helping developers move code, test code, document code in the system. We use AI to help people create tests faster. So we allow them using natural language to talk about building an end-to-end test in ServiceNow and then generate it on our AutomatePro platform using our command library to automate.
Wow, that really makes sense. Now, I have a very practical question for you.
Sure.
In the AI lifecycle, right, based on my own reading and research, I'm able to classify it or categorize it into 6 phases. Then the first phase has to do with identifying a business use case that you think AI can help you to probably make that business process more faster, or in terms of cost saving, or in terms of helping organization and employees to become more productive. Now, the second phase has to do with collecting the data. Now, data is an essential aspect when it comes to building AI technology and solution. And the quality of the data matters a lot. Now, that second phase is where you must have identified what data you need to train your model. And that phase is called the data collection, preparation, and the cleaning phase. And the third phase is where you train the model, which requires some processes of the model selection. Now we have different tools and applications we can use to determine what model would best align with your business use case. I've seen a couple of them because I've interviewed several AI companies. Then the next phase has to do with the deployment of the model itself, which I think that is where AutomatePro comes into play. Because when it comes to deploying AI models, there is also a DevOps aspect of it. Yeah. And based on the initial conversation I had, or the preliminary conversation I have with you guys, you said your tool is specifically designed for managing ServiceNow DevOps tools. Hope I'm right. Okay.
Partially.
Now, can you tell us how organization can leverage AutomatePro in the DevOps process of their AI deployment phase? If AutomatePro is a tool that is not just exclusive to ServiceNow, but other customers can leverage it as a DevOps tool for the testing process during the AI deployment phase.
Yeah, so it is right now. AutomatePro is specifically targeting ServiceNow business applications. That's the main thing. Part of that does include AI, definitely. That's what this whole conference is about, building additional AI components for all of these applications. So building the testing or automation for that will definitely become a big part of what people are going to want to do in the next years as they start to build and deploy these different AI agents within ServiceNow. That will become a bigger component, but it's in addition to all of the other testing of the applications, the forms, the lists, the different UI components. That's also what we do. It's a complete business process testing tool.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, let us deep dive into a specific use case. And now I want you to talk about the architectures. I want you to talk about all the processes. When it comes to using AutomatePro for, is it maybe for QA testing to make sure you're able to implement or probably to make changes to your ServiceNow platform?
Absolutely, yeah. Those are two of the main three cases that we look at. As part of an initial implementation, people will definitely want to develop their UAT tests or the end-to-end tests as part of that. Definitely speeds up that phase.
Okay.
As people make changes to the platform, they want to make sure things don't regress. So they want to make sure that they have automation in place to run daily or weekly so that things aren't regressing. The third one that's very important to ServiceNow is the upgrade path. ServiceNow does 2 major upgrades a year and several patches as well. We want to make sure that we cover that as part of testing as well to make sure that nothing has been pushed out that will break an existing process. So those 3 are the main use cases where we see people testing. Using automation for that just makes that a lot quicker and smoother.
That makes sense. Now, can you talk about how that life cycle look like from the AutomatePro platform? You know, if someone wants to utilize AutomatePro for this testing process based on the use case you just referenced.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll start in probably a couple different ways.
Okay.
People may get started if they have testing requirements already. They may use the existing tools to go ahead and build the test. If they're getting started, if they're a newer user, or if they want to create legacy tests, they'll probably want to leverage the AI tools that we built to describe the flow in plain English and then have it generate the test for you. That's the quickest way to get started.
Okay.
From that point, they may customize it per their requirements, add or change the data. But at that point, they've got a fully functioning test in just a couple of minutes.
That makes sense. Can we now talk about how the AI capabilities within AutomatePro help organizations to be able to perform a more faster testing, more accurate, more efficient, and probably cost saving as well?
For sure, yeah. Part of the challenge is in that getting started. There existed before maybe a technical hurdle for some people,
okay,
where they may not have even gotten started. So having the AI tools to get started and build them quickly is very important so that they get that faster time to value with the tool. Once they're built, the other half of the challenge with automation is keeping them updated, right? So we spent a lot of money and time building the test. As the system changes, we need to make sure that we update those tests and that they follow along with the development. That is a time where a lot of people lose the path with automation and they start to deprecate their tests. With AI tools here, we can keep them up to date easier, so people are more likely to follow those tests and keep them up to date along with the changes in the application. That really keeps the business value high, allows them to continue to use this test and develop great features for ServiceNow.
Yep, I agree with you. And I have 2 follow-up questions based on what you just described. And the first one is the automation. Is it autonomous or does it require an human involvement?
It is meant to eventually be autonomous, yeah. So
Okay.
in the initial phases, when you're developing, there is some touch that a human does. I think the AI will decrease that. I
Okay.
think we'll get to the part that we want to get to much faster. But there is a phase where we want to test it and validate and develop confidence in the test. Once we know that it runs, once we've had it, been running in a sequence for several days, now it becomes more autonomous. We just schedule it and we expect it to run and pass every day.
Great. Then my next question is based on the announcement that was made yesterday. The AI agent of a thing. I like the control tower. It makes me think about, the aviation industry where they have the tower. You understand? Now, with the current state of AutomatePro, do you think customers and prospective users, organizations can leverage AutomatePro to perform testing for the AI agent as well?
Absolutely, yeah. We actually built our tool with the AI agents. It's very new. It was released within the past month. They started developing that, giving that to customers and partners to be able to develop with that. So we actually built this on there. And I can definitely see the value now, having gone through that process of building automation for those pieces. They're going to interact with them in different ways. They're going to be tied to record operations in ServiceNow, but also conversational interfaces as well. Those will need to be tested. And automation with this and AI, can help to build those tests as well. Absolutely.
And with the way things are going in the world of AI, the advancement, and I can tell you that probably before the end of next year, ServiceNow might just be a fully AI company. Do you think that transition might also have an impact on AutomatePro as a company?
Absolutely. So in transit, and I absolutely agree. I think they will transition more to these agentic solutions, possibly displacing workflows and other business logic using AI. That still needs to be tested. Just because it's generated with AI does not mean that we just let it ship. We're going to have to validate that. That still needs to be defined. And I think that, just automation in general will help with that. But also, like I say, building and maintaining those tests using AI to do that was definitely going to be required, because things are going to be changing a lot faster at that point. We're going to have minutes or hours to respond and build tests, not days and weeks.
I like the word you use, validation. The validation is a very important concept when it comes to the AI lifecycle, and also in compliance with responsible AI principles. Then what the approach is saying is, when you build an AI solution, because of the high risks that comes with AI technology, it is always advisable, or one of the best practices, to validate your AI solution before you deploy them to production. Then we can easily say that AutomatePro will play a vital role when it comes to validating AI agent tools in the future. I see it going, transitioning to that space.
We get that. We've started to get that question a lot now from customers. How do we even test AI? How do we approach this? And it's different from what traditional testing. We are looking at, validating those, but it's non-deterministic. We don't know what path we're going to get. We know what the result should be because we know what the strategy is with AI and the agents, but that path could be different every time. So using AI to test AI will definitely become a thing, and we'll probably have to invent and adopt new practices that align with the strategies that you've outlined there.
Yeah, that really makes sense. Now, let us talk about the customer success stories. Now, what are some of the customer success stories you guys have probably gotten from the current customers using AutomatePro?
So the current ones right now, just using the core platform, because the AI tools are very new. We have gotten positive feedback. I think the biggest success story that we can talk about is probably NTT Data, getting a 4,700% return on investment. They took their cycle down from weeks into minutes and days. Now, the result of that for them is it enables a new type of development and enables them to mature and do things faster. Whereas they might have been waiting several days for results before, they can get that now in minutes. They can do full regressions in days, not weeks. So that enables and that unlocks some tremendous business value for them and tremendous agility for what they can do. That's typical of what we hear from a lot of our customers, speeding up that cycle, getting them more mature, unlocking value from the system, and just the ability now to do more with ServiceNow, deploy more applications and build more on it.
Well, that is definitely a great success story. And I believe that will inspire other organizations and enterprises that are looking for a better way to validate their ServiceNow platform. And yeah, I strongly believe what you just said. Now, let us talk a little bit about the dashboard piece in the AutomatePro, right? Because with the dashboard, I see it as, am I going to call it, probably a view where individuals or users will be able to see a clear visuals of the testing process itself. Can you give us a visual description of how the dashboard looks like and what important information users can actually get from there using AutomatePro for their testing process?
Yeah. So the dashboards, they're very important to all applications. Every application in ServiceNow has a dashboard. We do too. It is built on their dashboarding features. So what is displayed on there can be tailored specifically to the role or the person viewing it. Typically what we see or what we want to see is the trend of tests. Are they mostly passing? Are they failing? What's happening with them? Are new tests being created in there as well? Another thing that people like to see on that dashboard, especially when they log in, is what has recently run, what's about to run. They want to know the status of what tests are going to be enabled in the system. So that's definitely the first things that we see in the platform. Now, the very cool thing about ServiceNow and the way the dashboards are built is you can click into them. You can look at those different charts and click into the data, be able to view and expand that. So that's definitely the starting off point. People like to log in and see that just to be proactive about what's going on in their testing environment.
Yeah, the reason why I talked about the dashboard capability, because when it comes to the responsive AI principles, one of the principles is effective documentation. Then you have to document every step of your AI development. And I believe with the dashboard, you'll be able to get adequate and meaningful information about whatever technology that was being tested, which is ServiceNow. And the reason why that documentation has to be in place, because one of the principles said, if you are involved in building AI solution, you have to be accountable. Then that part of accountability is effective documentation.
Absolutely.
And I see dashboard as a place where you can extract some of this useful information that are very insightful in a more, in a more analytical, format.
Absolutely, yeah. The dashboards are a big component of that. The other part, which is a feature specific to AutomatePro, is the ability to generate that documentation from the test.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So people definitely use that in validated environments where we need to have complete traceability of testing. That's a very important piece because we need to have a hard artifact at the end that we can store and that we can give to an auditor if that ever happens. The other thing that we can do with it, because the tests are business related, we can take those documents and actually create end user documentation as well. So it's a complete 360 view. We want the high level, but we also want the very specific in those test cases. And AutomatePro, because we've been doing this so long, we have great customers that give us feedback. That was one of the things that we identified, and it's a feature of the system. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's a great capability. I like the part where you said they can use it to create end user documentation. That means that your technology is also supporting organization for effective change management practices.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, once you deploy your technology, your products to production, then you have the documentation at your hand and you can use it to train the end users.
Yep, not just documentation, but videos as well now. So
really?
Absolutely. The same content can be used to create videos. We also use AI in that arena as well to create narration.
Are you telling me this feature is currently live on AutomatePro platform?
Everything, it is, yep. As you run a test, it can be generating a video, and it's lovely. It's got the AI narration right built into it. So it sounds wonderful, using OpenAI to generate that narration. And some users just prefer that. It's wonderful to be able to give that to them in addition to written documentation.
Well, I think this is an amazing feature. Yeah, this is an amazing feature. And while you were pointing out all of those capabilities, I was thinking that maybe AutomatePro could be acquired by ServiceNow.
We certainly love working with them. If that were to happen, we would definitely love to work with them as well. But we've been on the platform for a long time.
I would also like to appreciate you guys for some of these features, the capability to transform the test to video. And just as I said, it will help organization in effective change management, which is part of what do you call this? The principle, the ITSM. I don't know if you're very familiar with ITSM.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is part of the framework. Then that means you guys are actually complying to ITSM. Like you build a technology that is meant for testing, but at the same time, you also provide an avenue where organization will not be only able to perform the testing, but they will also be able to deliver it efficiently from a user perspective, having effective documentation, even having visuals during the testing phase. I think that is really amazing and that is really innovative. And I don't think I've spoken to any organization that have this kind of features. And that is why AI Spotlight Show, we're so excited to interview AutomatePro. We're going to make sure we make this one of our highlight video on our LinkedIn and also our YouTube channel so that people can get to know how AutomatePro is helping organizations in terms of performing AI validation. That is what I'm going to put it. Validating their AI tools and most especially for ServiceNow customers. And with the new announcement of AI agent, I think it is very important that organization begin to look at, quality tools like AutomatePro to validate their agentic technology before deployment and doing upgrade as well. That is really amazing. Then my last question for you would be, what would be your three takeaway for our audience that are currently listening to us right now?
I would tell them, if you're in the market, if you're looking to mature your development processes in ServiceNow, please give a look at AutomatePro. We love to help organizations mature that, get better, get faster, and unlock more potential in ServiceNow. And we're here. We've got people ready, standing by to give demos and talk about and actually show these cool features with customers.
Yeah, definitely. That will be our next step after this interview. Probably next month. I'm going to invite you for a product demo so that our audience can have like a visual piece of what AutomatePro can do. And the good thing about our virtual product demo is we usually have decision makers in attendance. Then when they come and they like it, they can easily hit up the sales team and say, come and get us AutomatePro in our service now. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining this episode of AI Spotlight Show. Wow, this is an amazing interview. And this is actually a very good technology. AutomatePro, to me, has a future when it comes to validating AI technology. Validation is an important piece of your responsible AI principles. As we know, there is a lot of exciting capabilities about AI technology. But before you deploy them, you have to make sure they are in good state in terms of compliance with your organization responsible AI principles, and also with some framework that has to make sure that the AI technology you are being deployed will not be a threat to users, will not be a threat to your customers, and will not also be a threat to your business. The one way to do that is to make sure you validate the development of your AI technology, and that is where AutomatePro will play a significant role. Thank you for joining this episode of AI Spotlight Show. My name remains Henry Onowale, and stay tuned to our next interview. We are still live at Knowledge 2025, a yearly event organized by ServiceNow. Thank you so much, and do have a great day.